Hey guys, it's Brent from Dark Force Custom Sabers here again. I got a new one for you today. This one's kind of a cool one. I don't know if you guys remember the old comics, and I don't know if it was a graphic novel. I think it was a comic though, but it was the Imperial Knight series. I never really got too big into it, but I always kind of respected and kind of enjoyed the idea and the concept, and I always thought that was kind of cool. And you know, being that that was all part of the old expanded universe in the Star Wars thing, which isn't canon anymore, I figured that this would be kind of a cool little something different to do. So if you guys haven't seen already, I've come out with two different modeled sabers. One's called the Transcendence, and then the other one, this model, is called the Resurgence. This hilt model is kind of Graflex inspired, as you could see by the emitter. I powder coated it white and matte black to kind of give it that Imperial Knight look, which I thought was really kind of cool. And I kind of just weathered it up a little bit and gave it a little bit more texture, which I really love it a lot. So we have a custom-made chassis unit, 3D printed. They are black, obviously, it matches the scheme. This has the red switch, anodized switch inlays. The switch and the recharge port are obviously recessed, as you can kind of see there. It makes things really nice, so when that kill key's out, Saber boots up, obviously. It feels really good. Your hands aren't getting in the way of any switches, so it's very, very dual worthy in that regard, and it's very comfortable to hold, if I do say so myself. Obviously, what's interesting about this particular saber is it's powered by a Nano Biscotte version 4 by Plecter Labs. Great sound cards. But it also, more importantly, utilizes a particular blade called, or what I'm calling, the Neo blade. Basically, it's exactly what it is. It's a Neopixel blade. I use little indexable connectors, 5-pin. So this is a Neopixel blade. It has infinite color options, capable flash and clash, pulse, shimmer, whatever, blade retraction, you know, scrolling, all sorts of stuff that you can kind of imagine. You'll see that here in a moment. If you've watched my other videos, you've probably seen that as well. I'll just show you how the blade goes into the hilt. So, like I said, here's your hilt here. You can see the 5-pin connector there, and here's this. You can see the 5-pin connector there. You'll see a little divot right there, a little slot. That's the indexable part. So basically, you want to kind of just line that up. These blades are a pretty snug fit, so you'll kind of want to start turning the blade. I didn't put this in there at approximate index point, but you see how it kind of just slid in there like that. That's what you're looking for. It's very subtle, so I wouldn't recommend ramming the blade down in there, just because you don't want to harm anything electronic-wise, even though everything is mounted in there very, very sturdily, I might add. But you don't have to really worry about that, but just a precaution I'd take. So now that your blade's in there, what's included with the saber is a hex key. So there's a little blade retention screw right here. It's an 8/32, so you basically just take this guy and screw him down just like that. Pretty self-explanatory. Doesn't need to be super tight, but there you have it. Saber boots up. There you go. There's your nice blade extension and retraction. It's the best part about the Neopixel stuff, in my opinion. The blade is extremely bright, perfect brightness, I do add. You got full flash on clash. As you can see, you only have the single switch because it is an Nano Biscotte version 4, but you do have that recharge port. A charger is included to charge the saber. You get 3 different sound options. I just left them all at the factory setting. I think it's light meat, dark meat, and gray meat. But I did change the blade color. So you saw royal blue right there. I have it as a royal blue, red, and then a custom silver. I thought those were all really good color schemes for this particular saber. Now, one thing to note with Neopixel technology and the current kind of power supply system. This Saber runs off a Orbtronic 18650 high drain cell. They work really great, but you get more limited runtime, full transparency there. You're looking probably, if you were just to leave this guy on in full use, probably a good maybe 20-25 minutes straight. Depends on how much you also use the flash on clash and what color you have loaded up. Issues that you'll encounter are like really subtle, like popping noises. It'll just kind of click on the speaker. If you ever encounter that with any Neopixel kind of thing, don't freak out. The Saber is not broken. It just needs to be charged. The batteries, they go dead really quick because these blades, they take a ton of current, and they'll drain your battery very quick, even when they're off like this. So I'm going to stop blabbing, and I'm going to get to the next font. Press down and hold the button there. It'll beep like that. There's your red. There you go. Next font. There we go. And this is going to be that silver one. It might kind of look a little purplish on camera, but I assure you it's a little bit more of a blue, not even blue. It's more, I don't know how to say. It's just silver. If silver was a color, this would be silver. I don't know how else to put that. A little bit more subtle of a flash on flash. I kind of like that myself. A little bit more of a white. But yeah, I felt that those kind of color schemes really just sold this Saber for what it was worth, and man, it is just really cool. Let's get it kind of over there so you can kind of see a little bit of it. So yeah, like I said, this Saber obviously comes with the kill key, anodized red kill key from Custom Saber Shop. Comes with a 832nd Allen hex key, and it also comes with the charger. Really quick, I want to show you guys though how the Saber comes apart. And obviously we'll start with the blade again. So take the blade out, just unscrew that blade retention screw, just turn or two, it doesn't need much. I don't recommend taking it all the way out because you'll maybe risk losing that, but hey. So as you saw, it just comes out really easily. Set that blade aside. And by the way, these blades are fully dual worthy. You can totally duel with them, spin them around, whack them, fight with them. That's kind of what they're made for. That's one of the benefits of Neopixel technology is you get an extremely bright, screen accurate blade, and that has all these cool features, and they are very durable. And by the way, there is no corn cobbing as you saw on camera. It is very much like that in person, in terms of evenness, and you can't see the individual LEDs or what we call as corn cobbing. So if that's a question on anybody's mind, even the blades I sell normally, the Neo blades I sell in a kit, which are available on my website as well, they're the same blade. I use the same blade. So if you ever needed a spare blade, an extra blade, or had a Saber that was already built out, just didn't have the blade that you got from me, or whatever, you can get replacement blades that I offer. Anyhow, let's get to the chassis. So blade out, recharge port, kill key is removed as well. There you'll see a little 440 screw right here, right there. This hex key won't work with that, so you'll have to use a third-party one. Just like that, a little bit smaller. And you're just going to want to undo that screw. This one, it might help if you do take it out all the way. I just, again, don't recommend losing that screw. But you don't have to if you don't want. But for sake of demonstration, I will. So after that kind of gets removed, the pommel screws off. Cool. And you can just slide the whole chassis right on out. Pretty cool, huh? There's the board, there's the chassis, recharge port, switches, you see the wiring of it all thing. You can take out this SD card, make all changes. You can find out how to do that in the manual of the Nano Biscotte version 4, which you can either find through Plecter Labs or on the Custom Saber Shop. You can make all the changes right to that, down to that SD card, plug it into a computer, and make all the changes you want. You can edit scrolling time for the blade, pulse, color, all sorts of really cool stuff. So now to put this guy back in, it slides in really easily, right? Just kind of like a magazine on a pistol in a way. That's how I design these things. So take the pommel, and you're going to want to just kind of cup the back into that, because it is a little tricky. And then you're going to want to kind of screw that pommel on. Simple stuff, right? And kind of straighten out the switches there. Make sure they don't fall over. So these O-rings offer a little bit of a bushing kind of thing. I recommend going pretty tight with it. I like that myself. That's just the way I do things. So you can do that. The chassis will need to poke up a little bit. You'll see the little divot of the chassis right there. That's how you kind of know. And another way you'll kind of know is if you look into that hole right there, and it seems pretty good. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but that's where obviously this 440 screw goes, and it just goes in and retains the chassis with the hilt, so everything stays really nice, really sturdy. That just kind of goes in like this. It's not a super hardcore fit. It just goes in there and clicks in like that, and then you're ready to go. Oh, there we go. Has a sleep mute function in there, so if it rests for a few minutes, it'll kind of cut off power to the Saber. But anyhow, I think that about wraps up this Saber. I hope you guys like it. If anybody's interested, it is available on my website for sale, for purchase. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And yeah, take care, guys.